and welcome to All the Stitches. My name is Colleen and I'm coming to you from the Lakes region of New Hampshire in the United States. This is a quilting, knitting, and needlework podcast, but today I'm going to be talking about quilting. First, let me thank you for checking this podcast out today, and I especially want to thank my new subscribers. I've had several in the last couple of weeks, and whenever that happens, I know that somebody out there in the YouTube world has mentioned me on their podcasts. It's nice to have the support of other YouTubers out there and other crafters. I decided today not to do an episode of my works in progress that I've been showing you over and over and will probably continue to show you. I don't have any finishes this week, so I'll instead show you my summer quilts. And we can start with the ones that are right around me. You can see I moved on from my sheep quilt and I have put this floral quilt in instead. This is a pattern by Pat Sloan. I found it online several years ago and found a grouping of fabrics that have little bees on them. That's really adorable and summery. If I can find that pattern, I will put the name below. And by the way, I always forget to say the notes for this show, including any products I mentioned or any patterns I mentioned, are in the description box below. Okay, so my next quilt I mentioned briefly last time, and that is this. It's called Beaches, obviously, and it is from a pattern and actually from a workshop I took from Karen Eckmeier. Karen teaches these wonderful, what she calls accidental landscapes. Here is her book. I'm going to pull it down so you can get a better look. So you can see I think I started with the sky, and I had this lovely piece of hand-dyed sky fabric and found a great kind of moody summer sky. You can see the layers of beach building. I can't see what I'm showing you, but hopefully you can get a good look at all these layers. I love this barnwood outer border, and I thought that was just perfect. But this was a fun, easy workshop. And, everyone, even if you're doing the same type of scene, everyone's looked a little different. So it was fun. I'll have to show you the fabric on the back. And I thought that was perfect. My next small summer project is this. This little summer seasonal quilt, very patriotic, came from a book by Nancy Halvorsen, one of my favorite quilters. As you know, if you've watched this, you've seen me make a lot of her patterns. The book is Cottage Charms. Art to Heart is the name of her company. And here are the 4 seasons patterns within this book. I've made them all, and I just love to hang them for each season. I think this summer one is really cute with the watermelon. My format for this video today is going to be a little different because I got myself a new little video camera. It's just an inexpensive little camera. I thought it would make my life easier. I'm still learning. This is not an IT technical podcast. This is a craft podcast. So I am still learning how these things work. I shot some video earlier of some of the larger quilts that are throughout the house. And I was really pleased with the quality of the video for the price that I paid for this camera. It wasn't bad at all, but I wasn't happy with the sound. So plan B, what I'm going to do is show you some video that I took of the quilts. I'll introduce each one while I'm sitting right here. Then we'll have quiet video, and I'll put in some nice music or something that will keep you entertained. I'll start with a quilt called Summer Celebrations. This was another 4-season quilt. These quilts came from a book by Janet Selck. I believe I've shown you each one of them now that I've made for all the seasons, and I think this is the last one. But Summer Celebrations is, it's all hand appliqued. It is hand quilted. My next summer quilt is called Loon Dance. It's from this pattern from BEE Creative Studio. And it's a quilt that I long wanted to make. We're near a lake here right in our neighborhood. We're near a small lake that has a pair of loons every year that come back every year. Our loons have just hatched a chick. And it's always something that we're so excited about every year, and hopefully they survive, because now is the tough part. This next quilt is a favorite of mine. It's called America, and it was done as a block of the month several years ago. Here's just a picture that came with the pattern, and you can see the whole group of monthly patterns. I think that I bought this after the fact. I didn't do it month by month, so I bought it as a grouping. It is all hand appliqued and hand quilted. When I was making this quilt some years ago, I had taken a little bit of time off from quilting just because of life changes and so forth. And I was coming back to quilting, and I think this quilt really inspired me because it was just something I could hold on my lap and stitch on a little at a time until it was time to put it together. Because I hadn't quilted for a while, when I went to put it all together, I had taken a staycation, and I was spending time at home sewing this quilt together. And I was thinking about a dear friend of mine, Linda, who had passed away shortly before. Right. Yeah. But I felt her presence with me that day, and there were things that I thought weren't going to come together with that quilt, that I probably wouldn't do a very good job on it. But once I started to feel Linda smiling at me, and she had such a beautiful smile, and I just felt she was smiling down at me, and she was helping me along, and really happy that I was back quilting again. So this quilt, not only do I love the sentiment, and I love the little pictures and the pattern, but I also really associate this quilt to a very, very dear friend.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high, even if the sky is falling down.
last video is of a quilt that I designed myself based on a piece of artwork that I found on a card, a purchased card. And I just thought it was so sweet. It went along with the landscape and portrait type quilts that I was starting to do at that point. That video has audio to it, so I'm going to let myself describe that to you. This quilt that I made in 1990 was inspired by a painting by Christa Kieffer. I saw the painting on a card that I purchased, and here's the card. I was also inspired by a poem by Flagg Gould. If you bear with me, I'll read you the poems. I think it's really beautiful. It's called The Name in the Sand, which is obviously where the name of the quilt came from. Alone I walked the ocean's strand. A pearly shell was in my hand. I stooped and wrote upon the sand my name, the year, the day. As onward from the spot I passed, one lingering look behind I cast. A wave came rolling high and fast and washed my lines away. This is all hand appliqued and hand quilted.
Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I really wanna know, really wanna know.
Well, I have a couple of larger quilts that I don't have hanging right now, so I've jumped over to the other side of the room, and I'll try to show you those. Do you remember the flip-flop fad for quilts? Well, this was mine. And here, the pattern is from TRS Designs, and it's called Slippahs. S-L-I-P-P-A-H apostrophe S. I just thought this was so much fun, and you can see that I bedazzled each flip-flop with some buttons that I found, or crazy sequin things like these flowers. It was fun to try to collect them to see what I could find. The funny thing is, this is a quilt that doesn't go anywhere in my house, but it doesn't matter, because really the joy was in the making. This next quilt is kind of a special one. It's a special memory. I call it the girls and boy of summer. I'll point out the boy. Here's the boy right here. So this came about after quite a long number of years. I had always wanted to make a quilt of about the summers that I spent with my family in Newfound Lake in New Hampshire. And we were lucky enough to have grown up being able to spend our summers up there, and with all these people that came from all around. And we had this group of girls, and we spent our lives on the beach. So for a long, long time, I wanted to make this quilt, and I was just sort of trying to figure out how I wanted to do it and what kind of skills I needed to do it. So having learned the different methods of portrait quilts that I did through the years, I sort of came up with my own idea. So I drew out each person and placed them on this background of the beach. It really does look like the beach we grew up on. And so here are, I know some of them watch, so I'll tell you. Well, this is me sitting here on the rocks. This is Mary. This is Marla. This is my sister Kathy. This is Melissa. This is Susie. This is Birdie. This is Cookie, water skiing. And this is Patty on the rocks, and this is the boy. He was our token boy up in Newfound Lake. Wonderful memories, and it was really a joy to share this with them. And what I did, we had a reunion in 2015. And here is the picture of us all grown up. And I had each of them sign on the back of my label. And I thought it was funny that David wrote the boy, David. So here it is, the Girls and Boy of Summer. The Girls and Boy of Summer quilt was machine appliqued just with a running stitch all around the edges of each piece, and it was machine quilted. And now it's time for something old. So I'm just going to keep with this theme of 4th of July summer type quilts and show you a quilt I made in 1990. It's not that old, but it's old enough. And here it is. I just call it Uncle Sam. It is machine pieced and hand appliqued and hand quilted. And now it's time for what jumped into my cart. Well, something jumped into my cart recently, and I thought I would share it with you today because it's sort of going along with this summer theme that I have going on here. And this was a nice treat that I gave myself. It was a quilt kit that I purchased from the Fat Quarter Shop. And here is, from Riley Blake is the manufacturer of the fabric. And here is the quilt. I always wanted a patriotic quilt to hang over. I have a loft upstairs over my living room, and I like to hang quilts down there, but I don't have a patriotic one. So as soon as I get this done, I will. Might be a while, but I just wanted to share this with you. It comes in this great box, so it's everything you need. It's not backing, obviously, but it comes in this terrific box that you can reuse. Has some beautiful fabric. And I really like that it's, it's not cut in strips like so many of the kits are. They're fat quarters or bigger, so which makes them easier to be able to pre-wash before using. But I thought I'd share that with you because it's so beautiful. I almost hate to open it up and disrupt it. Well, thank you so much for checking out this video today. I hope the beginning of your summer season is good, that you're healthy, that you're doing well and keeping busy. Thank you to the new subscribers. Thank you to my older subscribers that keep coming back. I really do appreciate it. A lot of time and effort goes into these videos, not to pat myself on the back, but it does. And so it's really nice to know that you're out there, that you leave a comment, that you'll hit the like button. It helps me. It just helps the channel to keep on growing. So happy summer to you, and until next time, I hope all of your stitches bring joy.
What if the world had more of your smile? What if the wind could spread your love? What if your sweetness could reach everyone? There'd be no wars. Maybe the birds will sing about your heart. Maybe the trees will whisper the word. Maybe the sun will spread your joy to the ones who lost their hope. fill my head with roses. I can't help but dream away, standing on a field with you and flowers everywhere. Maybe there is a star with your name. One thing I know is that there should be. There is no one who has a heart as pure, no, not like yours. Dreaming of you. 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 I'm dreaming of you. What if the world had more of your smile? What if the wind could spread your love? What if your sweetness could reach everyone? There'd be no wars.